demonstration will show how to synchronize transient results across models. One may want to do this to produce a consistent set of results for post-processing or for downstream analyses dependent on the transient data from both models. My example contains two subsystems of the same aero engine. On the left, the compressor, and on the right is the turbine for the same engine. Both have been solved independently for the same mission profile, and we can see that in the solutions that are defined. First, with the compressor, I have mission 1 and its time steps 0, 200, and 700 based on the same condition sequence that would be done in this turbine model's solution. See mission 1 with the same time steps. The setup of these solutions is for the same mission, but the results aren't necessarily synchronized at the same time points. For multiple reasons, the time steps of these solutions may not be identical, and the intent is to produce interpolated results for both the compressor and the turbine at a consistent set of time steps. We're going to do that using Simcenter 3D's results mapping capabilities. Mapping can address differences in time and mesh for those that occupy the same physical space. So now let's take a look at our solution results for the compressor and the turbine. So in the compressor, I've generated a graph of results, or I can generate a graph of results from a contour plot. So I'm going to generate a contour plot, and then we can march through a certain number of locations in time. I can zoom in on this area and do a creation of a graph across iterations. Do that at this node in the top right-hand corner of the last blade. Notice it's got 23 time points. If I go the full cycle, so now it has from time 0 to time 700, there's 29 time points. I'll go ahead and say OK to that. And I'll create the graph in this window here. And we see that temperature profile over time of that node. Now we'll do the same thing for the turbine. We'll load its results and create a graph or a contour plot of temperatures, really at anything. Now I'm just going to plot a temperature across time for any point here on the turbine section, and then also do that from time 0 to time 700. And notice this is 34 time points. So we had 29 time points initially in the compressor model, and now we got 34 time points for the same time range, the same. It just required a different number of time steps. So go ahead and generate that graph. And it too has a similar profile as what we're seeing in terms of the temperature at a given point in the compressor or in the turbine. So now we'll return both to the view of the model, and then we will define two mapping solutions. First, we'll map results in the compressor. So I'm going to create a new solution, and that solution I'm going to call mapping, to be a mapping type multiphysics solution. It does have 2D solid elements on the ZX plane. I'm going to create that solution, and there's two key items here: the data source and then the time points that you want to solve at. So in terms of the data source, we're going to pick first our results file from this mission 1 solution. So that's HPC mission 1. OK to that. And then we need a mapping file, or the model source, the mesh of the source in terms of XML, and a mapping file. So I go ahead and pick that. I need both these files in the directory of the bun file. These all need to be in the same directory basically, but I can pick either the map file or the XML, but I need both from this mission 1 solution. So I'm going to pick HPC mission 1 map. Say OK to that. And then for my time points, I'm going to specify time points. I can get time points from a results file, but in this case, I'm going to specify the points that I want to synchronize my results at. So I'm going to paste in time points, and notice I've got different linear segments. So 0 to 10, that's a linear segment. 50 to 200 is another linear segment, and then 200 to 700 is a linear segment. And that's kind of like piecewise continuous, consistent with the overall transient results that I have. So I'll go ahead and say OK to this. Solution. That's complete. We will come back. The mapping solution is completed, so now let's take a look at the results. We have results at 3 load cases corresponding to the steps defined in the source solution. So load case 1, 2, and 3 correspond to those steps in the mission 1 solution. And we also have underneath those our time steps that we specified for interpolation of the results. I can contour plot the results to review each one. I'll also create a graph of these results to see how they compare with the source solution, and I'll use the same node as before. So create a graph and do that by node ID. And I need to make sure that I start from time 0 and run all the way up to the last time point. My final load case, so 700, and then go ahead and create that graph. I'll do that in the main window. And you see now a piecewise linear type of solution in terms of our representation of our results. I can overlay that plot from the initial solution, and then if I kind of zoom in this area, you can see the red curve being the one from the interpolated results. Where I have interpolated time points, the results are right on top of one another. But for example, the region where we have a nonlinear behavior in the transient solution from the original solution with the many time points, this is an example where I wouldn't want to interpolate using my extracted results, my mapped results, because I don't have sufficient data capturing my solution's behavior in this region, for example. You need to have enough data in my source solution to make sure that my interpolated results are accurate. And in this case, I do have sufficient data to make sure that my interpolated results from my map solution are correct. So that's a good thing, but it's something that you need to be aware of when you're interpolating data. So next we will repeat this process using the turbine section. And we'll do that in the same manner we did for the compressor. I'm going to skip those steps and move straight to a map solution with results for the turbine. The mapping solution for the turbine is complete, and let's take a look at the results. Again, we have the same steps, load case 1, 2, and 3 corresponding to the steps in our mission 1 definition. And we also have the same time points that were specified for the compressor's mapping solution. So we can do a contour plot of our temperatures, do an animation across our iterations. We get 9 time points that we were mapping. Close this, and we can see the animation and the time points in the header that are being displayed. Okay, I'll stop that animation, and then as a final step, I will import my results from the compressor mapping solution into this sim file for the turbine. Make sure I get the right one. Set this to a bun file, and we want HPC mapping. Okay. OK this. Now we can do an overlay of our results. So I'm looking at time point 5. I'll do time point 5 as well. Do an overlay. And one thing about contour plots, and when you have multiple post views in the same view, we only show one color bar. But I can edit these, change their settings so that we have a combined min and max for both color bars in the context of all the viewports that are in a given display. I can change this to round off and maybe 10 values. And in terms of our minimum number of values on our scale, so we get nice round numbers. Consistency in the results display of the turbine and the compressor. And then I can also march through my results, and that consistency is being retained for both post views as I march through them. So you can see now I have a consistent set of time points for both separate models, and now I can use this data downstream in additional analyses as required at the consistent thermal load for, say, a structural solution. At this point, we can end our demonstration.